please let me introduce the most amazing Elvira to you. She is a miracle mindset coach healer, and we say that in one word. Is she's a coach healer. She's amazing. She helps other heart-centered midlife humans make the rest of their life the best of their life. And I love this, so that they don't die with their real music inside of them. And we're going to talk. Vera and I have been connected many reasons, but one of them is that we both use our music gifts and our talents to bring healing to the world. Elvira's got an amazing story. She actually left an award-winning big pharma, big pharma career behind because you had, and you're calling it a blessed mental breakdown, to live your authentic act two in your late 40s. And now you're an award-winning pro jazz artist at 51, and you're a coach, you're a speaker, you're a healer, you speak on world-class stages, and you work with celebrities, and you have this really big mission and purpose that I'm so behind. And thank you for being here, Elvira.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. You're amazing. And by the way, I'm 61. I started when I was 51, but right now I'm 61. So,
I would never, I would just presume you were still 51, Elvira.
well, you know what's beautiful is a lot of people don't think I'm 61. And here's what I believe. I believe that when you're living your purpose, when you are living aligned to your highest calling, you can actually age backwards. Like I swear to you, I looked older at 30 when I was living out of alignment, working in a very like male dominated diagnostic sales world. I used to sell lab equipment to hospitals. Like it was such a tough industry. And I looked older than I do today at 61 when I was 30. So anyway, just putting that out there, ladies.
I love that. I agree with
And
you. I
men,
feel like I'm getting younger as I get older.
you look amazing. Oh my God, like your face. I don't know if you have a filter on, but you look amazing.
Face yoga. I do face yoga.
You're
That's amazing.
You're glowing. Yeah, you just did this incredible 4-day event, Unafraid, and I was a part of it. I got to witness your magic. And
Thank you.
oh my God, like you are so on fire, Rachel. You are so in alignment with your highest calling. And I know that you're meant to serve so many people and have a waiting list of people waiting to work with you. So, uh, yes, Rachel Wait needs to have a waiting list.
I love
I'm
it.
just putting that out there, putting that out there.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you. I could talk to you all day. Um, Elvira, what was I going to say? Now, you said such a lovely thing. You sort of knocked me. You've taken me off my. I've gone
Mm.
out of alignment, but in a really lovely way. Thank you, Elvira. I would love for you to share. Like now, you are living in alignment, and I can see that, and I can feel that, and I can feel your energy. What was it that led you to go? Because like you're calling it a blessed mental breakdown, and I think your goal here is to try and help people not get to that point before they live
Yes.
in alignment.
Thank you.
Yes.
Listen to the nudges, listen to the whispers before they become shouts and screams, and then the frying pan to the head, which is what I had.
Yeah.
So that's what I encourage people to do. Yeah.
Yeah. And what happened to get you to that point where you're like, I've got to change. Something's got to change. Because there might be someone listening now and going, something's got to change, and I don't know what.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd like to start with my story, if I can, Rachel, of when I was a little girl
Yeah.
and how I like this is I call it my crap magnet to miracle magnet story because it really explains how someone can become a crap magnet. And mine started when I was 11 years old. And I had been in Canada for, at that point, I guess about 6 years. We immigrated from Italy to Canada when I was 5. And I was a skinny little kid when we came to Canada. But because my parents weren't happy immigrating to this country and there was a lot of issues, they fought all the time. They bickered. And guess who took the brunt? Me, this sensitive artistic child who ate her emotions. So I became this roly-poly little kid. And when I was 11 years old, here I am, roly-poly little Italian kid, sitting in this audience. God knows why I was there. How I explain it is my father worked in the restaurant downstairs, and either I was up there because he was babysitting me and stuck me there for the night, or I insisted on going because I was singing and dancing since I leapt out of the womb. It's who I am. I'm an artist, right? So basically, it wasn't for kids. This was a cabaret show, very sexy, and I'm sitting there in the audience and I'm watching these incredible women up on stage singing and dancing, and they're gorgeous, their hair, their makeup, and they're so talented. And when my dad comes to pick me up, like I was in love with these women, and my dad sees the stars in my eyes, and he knew them because he worked downstairs, so they were upstairs. And he thought he would impress his little daughter, and he said, Elvira, do you want to meet them backstage? And I guess he wanted to impress me. And I said, I get to meet them? I thought I was meeting the queens of the world. So I went backstage and I got to meet these amazing women. And they looked at my dad, they looked at me, and they said, Oh, Joe, this is your daughter? She's so beautiful. And I'm thinking, I'm beautiful. I'm a fat little Italian kid. You're beautiful for telling me I'm beautiful. And Rachel, I felt seen for the
Mm,
first time in my life.
yeah,
These women got me. I was in complete alignment with who they were. They were artists, they were performers, they were entertainers. That's who I was.
yeah.
And I knew it. I knew it because I'm feeling chills as I share it
I
with you.
had absolute tingles as you were saying. I literally just my whole body just started tingling. I was like, "Shoot, that's yes, yes,
It's who, yeah, you
yes,
totally get it.
yeah."
You pick up alignment in your body too, because this is the work that we're blessed to do. Anyway, so now I know what I'm meant to do in the world. And I literally, they were just a few years ahead of me, right? They were probably in their 20s, maybe 30s. I was 11, okay? They were just a few years ahead of me, but I was them. I was them.
Mm.
And so I walked away with my dad, and I knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that that is who I had to be when I grew up. And my dad who could sing like Pavarotti, my dad who performed at all the family functions, and people just like clapped, and like they were so in love with my dad's voice and my dad because he was a beautiful soul. He's been gone 11 years now. God rest your soul, daddy. But my dad could sing like Pavarotti and never did anything with his voice. His sister was on world class opera stages, just like you, okay? But when she got married, Rachel, she was told to hang up her opera gown, put on an apron. You cannot step foot on another opera stage ever again. So both my father and my aunt were world class musicians, okay? And they never got a chance to get, as I like to say, aligned, authentic, fully self expressed. They both died with their real music still in them. They died with horrible diseases, with marriages in shambles, yeah, it was not pretty. Okay, this is the cost of living out of alignment, as I know it. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what happened. An interesting fact: my dad had seven kids in the family. Four were world class artists. So my dad and his sister were singers. My uncle and aunt were world class dancers. So these people were like, they could have been, on big stages dancing, but they were told by both the parents that good people are not on stages singing and dancing. Good people are good husbands and wives and mothers and fathers and providers for their children. That was the mindset that my grandparents had. Okay. So here's my dad with his mindset. He and I are walking away, and I look up to him with stars in my eyes, knowing what I meant to do. And I say, Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up. Well, guess what my dad said, Rachel?
I can only imagine, but I want you to share the words because I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Tell
Yeah.
me.
So had he said, okay, you want to be one of them? We'll get you into singing classes, dancing classes, acting classes. You can be one of them. Well, Rachel, you know what? I could be in Hollywood right now, or I could be on Broadway right now. But you know what? I could also be starving. That wasn't meant to be my destiny. My destiny was meant for me to live out of alignment for most of my life and then have a breakdown and a breakthrough to show people that it's never too late and you're never too old
Yeah,
to get aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed in your
yeah.
purpose. So back to my story. I'm walking away with my daddy, and I said, Daddy, I want to be one of them when I grow up. Stars in my eyes. And he says, Elvira, you can't be one of those women because those women are sluts. And that was it. I wasn't allowed to be me anymore.
Wow.
So little 11-year-old Elvira said to herself, not to out loud to her dad, but to herself, okay, Daddy, I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Who do you need me to be so you will love me?
Yeah.
And that is when living out of alignment started. That is when imposterhood started. That's when parent pleasing, which turned into people pleasing, started. That's when I chose not one, but two solid healthcare careers so that I could make them proud of me,
Yeah.
so that I could do what I was expected of me, which I understood was be a good little Italian Catholic girl, get good grades, get a good career, get a good husband, and give them some grandchildren.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel, I tried doing it their way.
Mm.
It nearly killed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now you know why I'm so hugely passionate about doing the inner work to get aligned, authentic, fully self-expressed. Let go of the self-limiting beliefs, the generational trauma, the old thinking. My grandparents, God bless them, they just tried to help their children, get them into good careers, make good money, take care of their families, but they squashed their souls. I've never said that before. They squashed their family souls, at least the artists that I knew of, the dancers and the singers. So here's what happened. When I lived out of alignment all those years, Rachel, I struggled because this was my soul trying to tell me, hey, get the hell out. You're not in alignment, right? So I struggled with mental health issues. I was bullied at work when I worked in the lab in big, when I worked in cancer research. I was treated very badly. You see, when we are living out of alignment, we have a target on our back. We have a kick me sign. And guess what? People kick us.
Mm.
So when I lived out of alignment in my medical technology career, doing cancer research, I got bullied by virtually every person that worked with me in that lab. And they were doing me a favor because I was being bullied for a reason. I did not belong there anymore. And as a result, but my ego said, no, this is the career you got. You're making good money. How dare you think you could leave, right? So I got bullied and I went into depression, anxiety, panic disorder. You know, at my, later on came the final break, suicidal ideation. But I had bipolar. My relationships were horrible because I lived so out of alignment. I had one good year. So just like my uncle and aunt that I told you about, I was a dancer too. I never took dance, but I was a dancer. So I got to dance for 1 year professionally, to cheer for the Toronto Argos. That is our professional football team here in Toronto, where I live just outside Toronto. But I got to be a professional cheerleader. So I did that for a year. That was my one good year when I worked in the lab, where literally I didn't care how they were treating me at work because I was doing something that was aligned with my soul.
Yeah.
I got to dance, right? So anyway, so that was my one good year. So then at the end of that career, after 7 years, thankfully I got plucked out of that to do sales. So I started doing selling to hospital labs. Then I got shuffled into selling pills. So that is what I did for 20 years in total. Well, I did it and somehow I survived, but my soul was dry. My heart and soul were dry. That's the name of my first jazz band, by the way, Heart and Soul. My heart and soul were dry. And somehow I got by, but I struggled with all sorts of things. Again, depression, anxiety, panic attacks. And I wasn't bullied in that career till the end, my last 2 years, but I was living out of alignment and I used to need outer validation, like I needed oxygen. Because I was so out of alignment, I didn't love myself. I didn't honor myself. I needed other people to tell me that I was valued because I did not value myself. And so this nearly killed my marriage 3 different times. Because what happens when you don't value yourself and you're looking at it from everybody, you want it from everybody else? It can hurt a marriage, let me tell you.
Yeah.
If anyone's struggling with that, talk to me, because
Yeah.
that is a very vulnerable story I only tell on certain stages.
Yeah. I
But I
get it.
nearly killed my marriage. Yeah, it's not pretty.
Yeah.
So that is what happened. And so I lived out of alignment for many years. And then I saw a friend of mine who I used to job share with when I was working big pharma. I knew her really, really well. She was just like me, this crazy drug rep in this crazy world where it was all go, 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 masculine energy, get the sales, get the results, go to the trip at the end of the year. That's what my life was like. And I had been poached for from her company to go to another company, and I was poached at the highest salary. I was the highest paid rep now at this other company, and I had the biggest car. I was all that in a bag of chips. I don't know how my head fit through the door. They valued me so much at that company, and so anyway, so here I am, and I've left my friend, and I hadn't seen her for a year. So I get invited to her house for a party, and I look at her, and she's a totally different person. She
Mm.
used to have like these furrows in her brow. She used to have like this really like, kind of like square jaw. She was like, super male energy. I haven't seen her for a year. I go to her house. She is this relaxed, beautiful, no furrows, soft jaw, very relaxed person. And I look at her and I said, "What have you done?" And she said, "Well, Elvira, in the past year, I've become a life coach." And I'm like, "What the hell's a life coach?" I had no clue what that career even was. And she said, "Elvira, well, what you do is you help people go from where they are to where they want to be, and blah, 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 and this and that." And I'm like, "You can get paid for that?" Like, I literally thought it like, this is unreal, because I was such a heart-centered person. I was always helping people anyway. I can get paid to help others. Like, it was amazing. Anyway, that night I put it out in the universe. I said, "I don't know what Angela did, but one day I'm doing it too." And that was it. I let it go.
Yeah.
And that same night, a woman tore me aside into Angela's kitchen and said, "Elvira, I'm psychic. I don't want to be psychic, but it's a gift my father gave me. He's a guru in India, and I need to tell you what I see." And this woman proceeded to tell me that I was a healer on the level of a Mother Teresa.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Tingles, tingles. Yes.
"What's that? Tingles?" Yeah. Well, thank you, Rachel. Well, I said to her at that time, "You're effing crazy." And I left. And guess what? I started to cry.
Mm.
Why do you think I was crying when I left her and told
Your
her that?
soul knew it. Your soul just knew it.
That is exactly how I explained it. My soul knew what it had to do. My head, my ego said, "Who the hell are you? You're
Mm.
just a drug rep. Why are you meant to be a healer on that level?" Right? So I walked away and I went home, and I was feeling, really uncomfortable, because clearly this woman, she doesn't even want to be psychic. But oh, this is what she said. She said, "I don't want to be psychic, but when I've been drinking, the veil gets lowered and I have to tell you what I see." And she wasn't drugged, but that's why she had to share this with
Yeah.
me, because it was a really big vision that came to her. So anyway, so here I am, and the next week I go into work, and my boss has been mysteriously let go. The guy that hired me at the highest salary, biggest car, biggest everything, he's mysteriously gone. So, had I been a smart woman, I would have said, "Oh, look, he's gone. Maybe, this is a chance for me to leave too and go become a life coach, because this is my next step, right? This is my act two, right? Or it's actually act three, because my act two was the pharma job. The first one was the lab. So act one, act two. This might be my act three." So anyway, that's not what I did. My ego kicked in and said, "Oh, he's gone. Maybe that's a sign from the universe that I'm meant to be the manager now." So I go for his job. I compete with a male colleague, a lovely man who used to be my work spouse. And he and I were so close. We were hired at the same time. But he decides he wants the job too. So at the beginning, it was very friendly. He said, "Okay, I'll be happy if you get the job, but I'd like to go for it too." And I said, "Great. I'll be happy if you get the job, because we can work together, and I'm good with that. So either one of us, we're going to be okay, taking over the boss's job." Well, there was this really weird circumstance that happened, and suffice it to say, I thought he was trying to diminish me and take me down
Mm.
politically. So I went for his throat too, right? This was my perception of what was going on. And he came back with claws, and he cut me deep. And basically, neither of us got the job, but he made sure that nobody in the company would like me ever again. So
Wow.
my boss is gone. The guy that was my biggest, fan, and made life so easy for me at that company, he's gone. Nobody's talking to me at the company anymore. Guess what, Rachel? I am now in a dark place. I now have a kick me sign on my back, because I'm a victim. I'm being bullied corporately. No one's talking to me. I'm a piece of dirt going into meetings. People are giggling behind my back, saying things.
Yeah.
It was horrible. Me being the people pleaser, me needing outer validation like I needed oxygen. Can
Yeah.
you imagine how it felt?
Yeah.
It was horrific.
Yeah.
And because I had a kick me sign on my back, I told you that I was a cheerleader for a year. The girl that she and I were rookies the year that we started. She went on to do. I left after 1 year because that's all I could handle working in the lab, just doing 1 year of dance, like 4 hours a night, 4 nights a week. It was too much. Anyway, she stayed on for 7 more years, and so she was the queen bee in this group, and I was part of her inner circle. I got to go to her parties. I got to enjoy, the celebrities there and all the fun stuff that would happen as a result of being a former Argo cheerleader. And anyway, because I've got a kick me sign on my back, this is a girl who's a mean girl. Okay, she controls people. She tells people who they can like, who they can't like, because she's also got OCD, interestingly enough, because she has to control things. And so, because she sees the kick me sign on my back, and she is a bully, this is what bullies do. They kick people that are down. So she started kicking me too. I'm not invited to the parties anymore. In fact, the friends that I thought I had, crossed the floor, went to her parties while she talked crap behind my back so that nobody would like me, so that I would never return to a reunion. Because we do these reunion dances
Yeah.
every once in a while. There's one going on October the 6th, by the way. I'm not doing it. But anyway, so this is what happens. I had all these people I thought were friends that now are her friends because she's bullying me, because I have a kick me sign on my back. So I hit my rock bottom because I'm being bullied at work. I'm being bullied socially. And I literally said, I cannot do this anymore. I was living with 2 years of depression, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar, and my marriage was in the crap hole. Okay. It was really, really bad. So now I hit a point where I literally thought my one and only child, who is 28 now, doing very well, but at that time he was about 10 or 12. I remember I thought my one and only child was better off without me as his mother, because I was in such a dark place for 2 years and I wasn't willing to take drugs. Why? Because I was a drug rep. I knew what they did to our bodies and I didn't want to be dependent on drugs for the rest of my life. Also, my father, because he lived out of alignment, Rachel, not doing what he was brought here to do, he got bullied in his 50s
Mm.
and he had a nervous breakdown and he couldn't come back other than with drugs.
Yeah.
So I saw what drugs did to him. He was a shell of himself and he died with his real music still in him, with a huge liver because of the drugs. And I said, my story will not end like my
What
dad's.
did you do? How did you get out of this?
Well, when I hit that rock bottom, I ended up saying, okay, oh, and I said, it can't be drugs and it can't be therapy. Because when I was a new mommy, I had mommy issues. My mom is 84 today. She's my best friend today. But back when I was a new mom, I had mommy issues. So I had to go to therapy for 2 years to get over them.
Yeah.
And so I know therapy works. It just takes a long time.
Yeah.
So when I hit my rock bottom, I literally said to my higher power, give me a way out. That's not drugs. That's not therapy, or give me a way of killing myself.
Gosh.
That was rock bottom.
Yeah.
That was total surrender.
Yeah.
That was, you show me what to do because I'm lost here.
Yeah.
And guess what? I got away because I'm still here.
Yay.
And yay. And that way has become the foundation of a global movement. People
Yeah.
are using my modality to help others globally. They're also sharing their own modalities on my site, because I don't believe it's just this lady's story, message, and magic that matters. It's all of our stories, messages, and magic that matters.
Yeah.
You do your beautiful magic within your unique way. It
Yeah.
is needed on the planet. I do it my way. My team does it their way. And together we are raising the vibration of the planet by helping people to do their inner work. My work is all about getting aligned, authentic, and fully self-expressed, so you don't die with your real music still in you, because the world needs your magic. The world needs your music, and you need to do the inner work so that you can do it, because most of us are traumatized. I was traumatized
Oh my
as a
God.
kid because I lived out of alignment.
Yeah.
I was abused every which way,
Yeah.
physically, emotionally, psychologically, sexually. I was abused every which way because I was a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I went along with what everybody wanted. I put myself last. That's how I was raised.
Yeah.
But thankfully I'm over here where I am unfuckwithable, I am unbullyable, and I get to help other people do that as well, so they don't die with their real music still in them.
And it's really interesting, isn't it? Because I think, we have to be so aware, I think, as parents, that we don't tell our children that we allow our children to express themselves. We allow them to
Yes.
be themselves. We allow them to say what they want to say, what they want to feel, because otherwise they do feel, because children ultimately want their parents to love them. Of course they do. They
Yes.
want to maintain
Yes.
that. And that's why we please our parents. That's why we end up doing what they want us to do or what they tell us to do, because even though it feels out of alignment to us. And so if anyone has children who listen to this, please allow them
Mm.
to be themselves, so that they end up not living out of alignment and end up having, similar experience.
Yes.
Mine experience wasn't exactly like yours, but similar experiences living out of alignment, then having to come into alignment. But
Yeah,
also, if you are living out of alignment, you're listening, think, gosh, yes, I am. There are things that you can do. You can change
exactly.
that cycle. You
Yeah.
can do that, but it does involve doing, and people resist it. People, I mean, do the inner work, but it's that for me is how you change your life and get the shifts,
Mm.
is to work on your energy, on your beliefs, on your
Yeah.
thoughts, and it takes courage to do that, but you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you do it because you are such a beautiful healer and you help us to heal our trauma so that we don't have drama in our lives, right? So this is what we do, right? And in on my
You
team,
help people.
yes. Well, how my team does it
Yeah,
is they have these small groups of people, 8 people and under, who do this work together. It doesn't have to be pulling teeth. It doesn't have to be hard. You have your beautiful healing sessions that you don't even have to relive the trauma,
yeah,
but your healing actually helps them to clear it.
yeah,
With us, it's getting these small groups of people together. It's actually fun, like, yeah, there's some work involved because you got to face some of your stuff, your
absolutely.
shadows,
Yeah,
but everybody there is there to feel and heal, to reveal who they truly are.
yeah, yeah,
So that's how we do it on my team. And my work one-on-one is all about, I work with spirit. I say I do nothing, spirit does everything, and miracles happen. So
yeah,
people hire me one-on-one if they can afford me,
yeah,
but I do encourage them to work with my team, and they are they're amazing. Like there's about, I think, 9 people are graduated now from the program. What happened is when COVID hit, 2 incredible women stepped forward and they said, Elvira, we love your online course. We love what it's done for us. We want to share this with the world, because they didn't know how they were going to work again. Because
yeah,
one's a hairdresser and one's a massage therapist. Shout out to Eleanor Hayward and Jennifer Hawkins. They came together and they said, we don't know when we're going to work again. And we love your teachings and tools. We want to share them with the world.
yeah,
And I started crying because when everything turned around in my life, I didn't talk about that piece. Like as soon as I was divinely gifted, the love your vibe miracle mindset, when I hit my rock bottom and I came out, I was told, like, my marriage, went from hell on wheels to heaven on earth. My depression, anxiety, panic attacks, bipolar, suicidal ideation disappeared quickly.
mhm,
And I became a professional jazz singer at the age of 51.
yeah,
So that's what happened. Those were the miracles. And I was told, Elvira, it's not just for you, it's for you to share with the world. And
yeah,
I'm like, how the hell do I do that?
yeah,
Well, when COVID hit, these 2 women came together and they said, Elvira, we love your program, your system, whatever the heck they called it. And I call it a way. It's a way of being. But we want to share it with the world. And I'm like, oh my God, that's how it gets shared with the world, not through me, through them.
yeah,
And they have trained, yeah, so Eleanor has trained all the people that have gone through,
yeah,
that said, hey, I want to be a facilitator too. And so this is, our group is growing. It's a global group and it's beautiful. And I truly just sit back and watch these people fly
yeah,
using the teachings and tools divinely gifted to me. They're not mine.
mm,
I was gifted them. I didn't make them up. I say I'm a smart lady, but I'm not that smart, because they really were what I needed to get me out of a dark place. Because, Rachel, I don't know about you, but I've done a lot of personal development over the years. And a lot of the systems that I use were very male energy. Like, well, I
mm,
shouldn't say male, more like toxic masculine energy.
okay,
And I had done Tony Robbins when I left the lab to go into the pharmaceutical world. Tony Robbins' program helped me big time, right? And that's another fun story I'll tell you if we have time. But basically, I got to meet Tony. I got to shake his hand and say, "Hey, you changed my life. Thank you." And he looked down at me and he said, Thank you. He was very kind. So I know his work has worked. And I'd done this thing called Landmark Education, which is a big, international personal development system. Very masculine energy in your face. I brought 5 people into Landmark. 2 of them had nervous breakdowns.
Right.
So it's a very strong technology. So
Yeah.
I had that, and I had been Catholic my whole life. So God was out there, and I was this lowly sinner. And, these were all things that had helped me at various points when I lived out of alignment. But Rachel, when I hit my rock bottom, religion didn't save my life. Landmark education didn't save my life. Tony Robbins didn't save my life.
Yeah.
I asked for a way out that was fast, that was natural. And this way is a divine feminine way. It
Mhm.
is a gentle rain soaks approach over 6 months. And honestly, it is a miracle. That's why it's called the Love Your Vibe Miracle Mindset.
Wow.
So anyway, I had to share that because I think it kind of ties it all together.
And if anyone's listening, I will share exactly how they can, if they are at that rock bottom, or they're like, I am out of alignment, I don't know what to do, where to begin.
Yeah,
I'll share with them where they can begin that, how they can get in touch with you, and how they can find out about
please
that.
do.
I think
Yeah,
I
please
think
do.
it's needed. Our work is needed. This
Oh,
series is about shaking the world, isn't it? And I
yes.
think the more of us who are able to work it, come into our own alignment, come out of
Mm,
alignment into alignment, means that we can shape the world, but in a really positive way, and we can help raise the
mm.
vibration of the planet and all those things that you and I are so in alignment with, and we're here
Oh
to
my God.
remind others that
Yeah.
they can live as their authentic self,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they don't have to stay in the ruts that they're in, or stay in the mindset they're in, or stay in the beliefs that they grew up in. They can shed all that. It's possible to shed it all,
Yeah,
and I
it
think
is.
we need to remind people of that today.
Oh my God. And it's the reason why you and I were meant to be
Mm.
musicians, artists. It's not just to be on a stage. Look at me. I'm the singer. I'm all that in a bag of chips, right? We're here to help people heal with our
Yeah,
voice, right? So
yeah,
I'm a sacred sound healer.
yeah,
You do your beautiful healing,
yeah.
which, oh my God, anyone watching, you need to check out this woman's healing audios. She is incredible. So this is what we get to do, Rachel. We're artistic healers. We help people heal with our voice. That's how actually I became professional at 51. Because when I lived out of alignment, Rachel, I took a lot of classes. I studied, classically, probably not as much as you,
Yeah,
but I studied off and on classically for about 10 years.
yeah,
But it was always from a place of, I'm not good enough. I need more lessons.
yeah.
And when
I
I'm on
all of
stage,
that.
yeah, when I'm on stage and if I get off the stage and you don't rush to me and tell me that I'm fabulous, I'm going to think that I failed
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I was living so out of alignment back then, and it was all about my ego. My ego ran the show. And so what happened is, yeah, I could only get to a certain level with that kind of mindset. And I hate to say, I see a lot of musicians today with a really crappy mindset.
why I
Okay.
left
They're
that world. That's why I left that
right.
world. I couldn't cope with that ego. I couldn't cope with all that rejection, and you're not good
Thank you.
enough,
Yeah.
and being judged for my voice. And the only way to get over that was to say, I'm never going to sing again, because I can't cope with this being judged and this being put down. And
Right.
my voice just went like that. And
Wow.
then obviously when it was time to be in,
Yes.
and I wish there were so many other artists who didn't have to go into that world and be made to
I
feel that
know.
they're not good enough, that they're being judged. Anyway, that's that's a
Yeah. Thank you for
whole
sharing that.
other.
Honestly, sister, I know I'm not alone in this. And I actually coach a lot of musicians in their midlife plus musicians that don't want to die with their real music still in them.
Yeah, and
I want to help them become miracle magnet
yes,
musicians and
yeah,
stop being crap magnet musicians.
yeah,
So I actually help a lot of them. I help them adopt this new mindset shift that
amazing.
they can have a better career. So this is what I do. And I love that we're speaking about this right now because, yeah, for many years, I was a crappy karaoke singer because I love singing, right? And so I didn't know how to sing properly. So then I took some lessons and I got better. And I stopped getting, told to shut up and hogging the mic because I always hogged the mic as a karaoke singer. So I finally started getting some appreciation for my voice because,
Yeah,
I was singing properly at this point. And yet, it was never enough. I was never good enough. And
yeah,
that outer validation was everything to me.
yeah.
So when I had my breakdown and my breakthrough, I realized that my gift is not about me. My
Yes, hallelujah.
I realized that my gift is to give it away to the
Yeah,
world. And
yeah,
that is what that woman read back then, that I am a healer on the level of Mother Teresa. Why? Because I have a beautiful online platform. My sound healings are on my platform. So I'm helping people globally with my voice. What did Mother Teresa do? Well, she had a beautiful group of people that followed her and helped people heal with love. Well, I've got my sound healing on my platform. So I'm doing my thing, right? And it's just a question of time before more people know about it so that it becomes a tipping point effect where you might know about me too or not. I don't really care. I
Yeah.
just want to make the difference that I'm born to make. It's not about the ego, I want to be famous, but it's about the service. And when I got that I was not my ego, I was my higher self, that God wasn't out there, right? Like the Catholic Church taught me,
Yeah.
that God was in me,
Yes.
that's when everything shifted. And that's when I had the courage to become a professional singer at the age of 51. And now I work on world class jazz stages and record on world class jazz stages. And I've sung for Oprah Winfrey's man, Stedman Graham. If you Google Stedman Graham, Elvira Hopper, you'll see me singing to him. It's hilarious. And I won Best Band in Mississauga a couple years ago, and we sung for the mayor's 60th birthday party. Why? Why me? Am I the best singer on the planet? Probably not. However, I believe that when you're in alignment, people pick up alignment. It's a very high vibration. It's
Yes.
totally different than someone that's really talented, but is in ego.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
someone's in alignment, you get opportunities. Hey,
Yeah.
I want you at my party. Hey, I want you at this gig. Hey, I want you on my album. Those are the miracles that happen for miracle magnet musicians. And this is a really unique way of looking at music, because most people just want to be perfect, and they think
Yes.
that the more perfect they can be, the better they are. I believe the more aligned you can be as a musician, the better you are. So I'm real, not perfect. Like if you hear my jazz album, it's not perfect, but it's real, and there's a lot of joy on that album. People love listening to my album because it brings them joy. And here's what I say: when I'm on stage at Jazz Bistro, which is a world-class jazz venue in downtown Toronto, just close to where I live, I'm on the stage. And if I sound like shit one night, Rachel, guess what? Someone in the audience is meant to hear me and go, "Oh, she started doing this at 51 professionally. She's not even that good. I'm going to go do my thing too."
Yes.
I just want to inspire people to not die with their real music still in them. By me doing it real, not perfect, I
Mhm.
pray it inspires other people to go do their thing later in life as well.
Wow, Elvira, I know I could talk to you for hours, and I know we could we could talk about this for hours. But I really, really, really hope everyone listening, whether you caught this live, whenever you're listening to this, that you received so much from just hearing Elvira's story, hearing us, talk about what we shared, and that you realize that you can live in alignment too. And if you feel like you're not living in alignment, you'll know you're not living in alignment because you won't feel joy, you'll feel stuck, you'll feel the depression, you'll feel like when you're not in alignment. But there are ways to change that, whether you
Yeah.
reach out to Elvira, see what she's up to, or just ask for that, just make that decision within you that actually I'm going to change, and I'm going to take those steps, whatever they are, that come to me to help me make that change, so that, like you said, you can live the full expression of who you
Yeah.
are. And that's
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
what we hope for everybody. Vera,
so
thank you so
beautiful.
much.
Yeah, nothing changes if nothing changes, guys. You've got to take action, some sort of inspired action.
Yeah.
And if you listen to Rachel and I, and you're like, I think Rachel can help me, I think Elvira can help me, or maybe one of her team can help me, like, please reach out, because you are here for more. There is more in store. I want you to make the rest of your life the best of your life. I'm sure you agree with that, Rachel. And we're here to do that. And Rachel and I are part of a beautiful group that is helping to do that at the highest level globally. So we are creating some amazing global retreat centers to serve the top 1% to do this inner work
Yeah.
of feeling and healing and revealing who they truly are. They're not their ego. We're used to seeing them as their egos, but they are their higher self that are here for something more on the planet. And we're going to be locking arms with these people, and we're going to be helping them to resolve global issues. That's what Rachel and I are a part of. I'm blessed to lead this incredible group of over 44 rock stars, and you're one of them. And we're meeting this Friday and Sunday. So I'm so excited to meet with you. So
Oh,
just a little taste of what's ahead.
very exciting. Thank you for sharing that, Elvira. And thank you for sharing your time, and sending you much, much love and appreciation. Thank you.
Thank you. Mwah.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the She Shakes the World podcast series. I really hope you've been inspired by the guests that I have brought to you. And if you are motivated in any way to do some deeper work on yourself and you are curious to know how I could potentially support you overcome all the things that are holding you back so that you can fully step into your power, your gifts, and shape the world in the way that you are meant to, please head over to my website, rachelwaite.com. You will find the link also in the episode notes. And if you head over there, you will find some free meditations. You will find out information about my group program. You will find out how I could potentially work privately with you to really do some deep, 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 deep work for you. Like I said, head over to rachelwaite.com. The link is also in the episode notes. And I truly hope that I see you hopping on a call with me, or that you are able to download one of those meditations, or that you simply come back and listen to another episode of the She Shakes the World series. So many opportunities are open to you. Thank you once again, and you take care.